Saturday. The weekend, it's finally here. I know a lot of us have waited for this time since the beginning of the week. It's always an excitement knowing that you got at least 2 or 3 days off, depending on how many days off you have throughout the week. So it's a great feeling, having a day off and just also running errands and taking care of certain things away from work because work can get toxic sometimes for some of us, right? So for those of us that works harder, we know the importance of having a day off, okay? Because if you keep working and working without taking a day off, it takes a toll on you. All right, so you don't want to do that. So happy Saturday, folks. I hope your week has been productive. Mine has been, except it sucks that I have to work on the weekend on a Saturday. But hey, I keep beating the dead horse, right? That I'm doing this for a very good reason, and I'm gonna keep doing it until I've reached my goals, right? It'll come a time where I will not tolerate working on weekends unless necessary. But for now on, I can't make any promises. It's my personal commitment, and I'm gonna keep doing it until um, I get to that point where I'm like, you know what, my body just needs to take a break, and that's why I'm flying somewhere. I gotta go somewhere. I gotta go away from here to heal. Get some time alone and then just enjoy the nature. You understand what I'm saying? So guys, let me know in the comment section how your week has been. And please do me a favor, hit the like button as you join the chat. And also make sure you let me know where you're tuning in from, and I will really appreciate it. All right. So you guys know it's never easy to do these videos, to do this live stream. So the least I can do, or the least you can do, is just to look out for me in the comment section and that like button right there, whatever side of the screen it is popping wherever you're watching. All right, so just I will appreciate to know where my audience are tuning in from. I'm going live from Pennsylvania, as most of you already know, US. But if you drop in the comment section where you're tuning in from, that will also go along the flow with the live stream and the subject that I got cooking for you today. All right, so just do me a favor, hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and I will really appreciate it. So I will allow a little more time for people to join the chat so we could all have a productive conversation. And come on, guys, listen, man, I keep talking about these things over and over and over again. All right, so listen, I don't expect you guys to donate. However, if you do donate, I will appreciate it. I don't expect your financial support in any means, shape, or form, but if you feel like doing so, I will really appreciate it, right? But my thing is, I don't come out here asking for money. I come out here to talk about things that are important, and that's why most of you tune in. That's why most of you give me your time to listen to what I gotta say. Because the reason why most of you keep coming back, because we have a lot of things in common. The things that I talk about on this channel reflects some of your ambitions, some of your goals, or some things that you're already doing. Okay? So to support this channel, do me a favor to hit the like button. All right, when you hit the like button, it lets YouTube know that more people are willing to see this video or to this live stream. Then and YouTube send it to other people as well. Just don't be greedy, okay? Don't be greedy. Tuning in doesn't cost you any money. So is hitting that like button. You hit the like button, it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, and it costs you $0. Zero. All right, enough of that, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like button as you join the chat, and let me know in the comment section where you're tuning in from, and I will really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's go straight to today's live stream. So you guys, you saw the title, you clicked on it because you were curious to know what this guy is talking about. What is this guy have to say? Okay, hear what I got to say about that. There are numerous things that many people don't take into account when considering investing in Africa. And if those things are not handled and you don't do those things, investing in Africa may not be for you. Okay, guys? So if that sounds like something that you're more interested in, so have a seat somewhere on the couch, lay back, pour a glass of wine, liquor, beer, whatever it is that you consume, and open your ears. And along the live stream, if you have something to say, drop it in the comment section down below as the live stream go along, and I will read them and get back to y'all. So let's get to it. A lot of people think that if you have saved enough money, all right, first of all, let's start with someone. Someone has developed interest that they want to invest in Africa. They do their due diligence, they do their research, they collect enough information that they will need to actually go in there and start a business in Africa, right? Or start investing in Africa. So they come up with the money, which is great. Without the money, you can't really make any of these things happen. So then you go over there, you invest your money, you establish your business, and then you come back here, you don't follow through. You just expect somebody to run a business for you while you're away from the country. Wherever it is that you plan on going, it could be the Congo, it could be Senegal, it could be Uganda, it could be Kenya, it could be Tanzania, Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, wherever in Africa makes you feel comfortable investing your money in. Keep in mind, when you are flying to Africa to invest, I'm going to assume, especially those of you that watch this channel, I'm going to assume that you don't have the kind of staff or money to actually hire a very strong and powerful staff to run your business for you while you're away, where you can just sit there in the island and just receive phone calls and giving your reports every single time. So most of us that are flying to Africa to establish businesses because we are trying to get away from the Western monetary slave system to become financially independent while investing in Africa. That's the most important reasons, one of the most important reasons that most of us are flying there, are thinking about starting business in Africa, right? So when you do that, then you don't follow through. It becomes an issue, right? Understand one thing: when you're not present and while running your business right there, it makes it more difficult to implement your vision. Sacrifices must be made. When I say sacrifices, I'm not talking about you hanging yourself to die for other people like Jesus did on the cross, right? To save humanity. No, you ain't no Jesus. You're not here about to save no humanity. But the kind of sacrifice that I'm talking about is stepping out of your comfort zone. You may want to be away from America for a long time, depending on how big your investment is. Well, personally, someone like me, I invest in agriculture. I own 15 acres, right? And I build my pig barn. I've invested between 15 up to probably 19K. I got to keep track of all of these expenses so I know the exact number for you guys, right? Because I did that, I have an interest to continuing to fly to Congo to see how things are going. So if you guys are always around to watch my videos, you know how far I have gotten with my farming projects. That's very important. When you're not making enough sacrifices to go back and forth, to keep an eye on your business, to see how your business are doing, and to also send a message to people that are running business for you that, hey, I'm always here in case you need me. I'm always here because I want to see this project succeed. Trust me, in my last live stream, I had touched base on the mentality of certain people when you are doing business with them in Africa. A lot of them down there, when we come from the West, whether you come from America, France, UK, wherever, or Canada, right? They see us as a way of them to make money. They see like an economic opportunity in their eyes. They're not looking at you as a business partner like that. Especially someone who has never done business on their own single-handedly when they see you coming, they assume you have all this money to spend. Therefore, a lot of people, when they don't do research, they get charged twice or three times the cost because they don't know better. And I don't blame them, right? Sometimes you have to depend on local people to make things work. But if you're not really giving yourself enough time to learn what's going on locally, it's gonna hurt you in the long run because people don't really care. They don't care. They don't want you to care. Some people, they will even go far and tell you, where are we gonna go get these materials is so far, and dirt and all of this mud. We don't want you to get dirty. You can just stay here. We're going to get it for you. That is a way to discourage you, to keep you away from getting to that location to find out the reality, because they know if you're there, you will know how much materials cost and that you will pay the exact price that they're asking for. By you not being there because they scare you away, it makes it easier for them to actually hike the price or falsifying the receipts. That's doable too, guys. So if you are not prepared to do all of these things, I would not recommend you investing in Africa or even thinking about doing business there. And to be fair, not all of us, not all Africans living in the West or living in America want to do business in Africa. Let's be honest about that. Let's be fair, right? Not all of us. But those of us that have this interest, that want to invest heavily in Africa, that want to do business in Africa, this message is very important for us because in my own personal experience, I've seen these things, and I know if you don't spend enough money to make sure that your business is running properly, or your properties are taken care of accordingly, you are going to lose a lot of money. And the last thing you want to do as soon as you start your investment is to lose money, right? But I understand the risk involved when doing business, but nobody is prepared to take huge loss like that. Most of us, when we're getting in there, we're getting in doing the business, we are hoping to do better. We are hoping our plan will succeed, right? But how much more do you have to lose if you don't try? At least if you lose, you can at least say that I tried. There is nothing wrong with living abroad while doing business somewhere. But the idea is always to make sure you frequently travel to that area to look after things and also have an idea of how things are working. It'll give you the knowledge to even invest in certain area, because ideas starts to grow when you are investing in an environment where you have a lot of knowledge of, and then you study the markets. From that market, it could lead to knowledge of many other markets that you didn't think of. But if you're not always there, there is no way for you to learn the markets better and how certain things you can add on to your investments and benefit you even further. Unless you have a great team that's really willing to help you out and that are sharing the same vision as you do. But we know for the most part, it's very difficult. Your vision, it's your own vision. You can just associate yourself with people with the same kind of mindset to make your dream come true, right? But let me give you one quick example. How do you want to pass a class when you're not putting enough work? How do you want to get an A grade on a class that you're not willing to spend time to open a book for? So if you don't have enough time to sit there and study so you can pass your test with an A grade, you might as well just drop the class, right? So the reason I give that analogy is because I've seen a lot of people brag about how much money that they're investing in Congo or in Africa in general without them being there, without even doing the effort of taking a trip to go see what's going on out there. I personally have friends in my community where I live here in Pennsylvania who have bought, properties back in Congo, but they have their families running things for them. They've been here for over a period of 5, some of them even 7 years. They have not taken a trip back home. Every single time they talk about traveling there, they will always come up with an excuse as to why they couldn't, the trip wasn't successful because they had X, Y, and Z. And I don't blame on them so much, but I always tell them, listen, we all have issues here. We got bills, we got problems, we got things to worry about. But at the same time, if you're not willing to make the sacrifices that would actually make you more successful in whatever business that you are doing in Africa, then it's not even worth trying. Because at the end of the day, it's money being spent. When you spend the money, there is no other way the money is coming back into your account if you don't get something back from it, or if it doesn't produce. If it starts producing, then you can make profit out of it. But we all know if you are building a business from the scratch, you have to be patient, right? You really have to take time. You know how many times I've traveled to Congo and I came back here financially, I became unstable, which took me like months to get back to my feet. I take those risks because I know what I am building there, it's way more important than what I'm going through here, because I don't always want to continue to go to work. Hey, yes, don't get me wrong. I like my job. I love my job. I have passion doing my job. But I don't see myself working 9 to 5 for the next 10 years, right? That's why I'm working as hard as I am now, so that I build my projects. I complete all the projects that I have going on in Congo. And one day, if I go down there and see how things are going, and the way things are run, and if I'm making enough money, then I can make peace. Like, hey, I can stay here, peace out. I'll come to America to visit, right? That's at least what most of us have in mind. So let me grab this set of comment real quick. Well, I'm driving, just gotta be more careful reading these comments. Around the family. I've been in London. I'm British and originally from the DRC. I'm proud of you, bro. Continue with the good work. Listen, man, I really appreciate it. That really means a lot, and thank you for coming back one more time to watch this live stream, because I know it means a lot to a lot of us. It means a lot for most of us, right? That's why I am continuing to do this live stream. As long as it's giving value to you guys and you think what I'm doing is right, I really appreciate it. Like, your kind words really, really means a lot, all right? I don't have no reason to do these things, coming over here and talking about these things and encouraging more of us to go back home to invest, because it's not going to help us if we continue to fear, the government, it's not. No, guys, listen. I don't know how many times I've said it so far. The government ain't gonna do squat for you. The government ain't gonna do nothing. For some of you that are planning, that wants to come here to America, UK, wherever, good luck. You're not gonna get the life you think you would when you get here. Trust me. Trust me. You can ask a lot of these guys out here, they will tell you the reality. They will tell you the real deal. It's not what they make it seem like on TV. Nowhere near it. A lot of people are getting now because they have realized that the American dream that they talk about, it's not real. It's fraudulent. It only works for politicians. Politicians who are corrupt, who continue to receive funds from all of these big corporations, right? To enslave the population. That's what's been going on. And that's the same thing happening in African nations. And there is nothing you and I as individuals we can do to stop it. You can march, you risk your life getting shot at, you risk your life getting killed, but you can focus on doing business and become successful. Guess what? If you're trying to change politics, right? You don't like the way politicians, do things or the way they vote. the best way to do that is to start a business, make more money. You will get these people's attention. Trust me. When you have money, you can influence politics. But when you're broke, you can keep talking crap about politics and nothing is going to happen. Trust me. Since I figured that out, I stopped worrying about politics. It doesn't mean that I don't follow politics. I do. It's important to know what's going on around the world. Just like I know what's going on in Congo with Rwanda and all of that. I'm well aware. I'm informed. But I stopped a long time ago trying to make it my priority. Otherwise, I'm going to get a heart attack and die. And my family will mourn me, will bury me, and life goes on. I want to be a part of the change, right? Because we could change today. The government is not doing this, not at the third. Listen, you're not going to change politics. If you want to change politics, if that's what you want to do, your best bet is get into business, make more money, all right? Become wealthy. Then you will see how crooked these politicians are. You will easily put them in your pockets. Easily you put them in your pockets. All right. So those are the things that we all have to keep in mind. So understand that there are so many requirements that come along with doing business in Africa. You can't expect to succeed in doing business in Africa when you're just sending money and not following through. If you don't follow through, then you're not going to see the positive results. Your business may be successful, but you're not going to be the number one beneficiary of it. The people who are there running it are going to be the number one beneficiary of it. All right. So if you want to change that, it is worth you traveling more often than you should. Then just stepping out of take a couple of weeks off. All right. Save enough money as you can. Take a couple of weeks off. Take a leave of absence, if you will. But I will recommend you paying your rent 2-3 months ahead of time, depending how long you're planning on staying there. That's at least what I do every time I go to Congo, right? Every time I go down there, I make sure I pay 2 or even 3 months worth of rent. So when I'm out there, I don't have to worry about these expenses. I don't want to have to worry about these bills piling up on me while I am abroad, right? So I do that for a reason. So when I'm out there, I have a peace of mind so I can focus clearly and actually get things done while I'm out there. You understand what I'm saying? I understand there are things that you can do from abroad. When you are investing in Africa and living in America, for instance, right? There are certain things you can send money and get people locally, to do it for you. Have them get it done. But it comes to a moment where you will need to go over there to see things for yourself. Don't just trust people and sit there, expect money being deposited into your account every single time without knowing the reality. You have to be able to go down there and see for yourself and be like, okay, the money that I'm paying my people, it's not enough for what they're doing. Those things are important too. So when you are taking care of your people the way they deserve to be taken care of, trust me, it is another advantage for you to prevent theft from your establishment, to prevent immorality, and all these other things that will ruin your business. And most people don't have this kind of mindset when they are getting into doing business. They might start a business and the business is successful, but they do not want to give back to the people who actually have helped them get where they are. But if that's the kind of mindset that most of you doing business in Africa have, trust me, it will fall apart very quickly. It is worth the energy, because if the moment you succeed in business in Africa, believe me, you will never want to come back here, because the lifestyle over there, you're living a healthy life, you're eating healthy food, you are living freely. You have the freedom, which a lot of us lack here in the West. But more people take that for granted. Guys, every single time I land on international airports of Kinshasa, I feel something. It just feels a whole lot different. You're like, oh man, I'm home now. Now I can rest in peace. I can rest. I can breathe natural air that's not polluted. I can freely go anywhere without having to worry about getting the mail through the mailbox reminding me of a bill that I missed payments on a few months ago, or not having to worry about a collection debt agency blowing my phone on a daily basis on the top of the other stress that I'm already going through. Those things affect you mentally. But when you move away from America, or you get away from America, at least for a couple of weeks, you heal. But when, let me see here. Absolutely, right? So then when you do those things, right, then you realize how freedom can, like the definition of freedom that most of us confuse. It's really, truly financial freedom. But it is also necessary, us as human beings, sitting somewhere, not having to always worry about money all the time. Yeah, we're starting this business in Africa because we are trying to gain some sort of, financial freedom, right? So you don't have to wake up every single morning, if you don't have to go or make somebody else rich. The one thing that a lot of people continue is to stay here and hoping things will get better is the salary that most of us are getting. Oh, I'm making all this money. But when you put expenses that we spend all this money on, we barely left with anything. $1,000 could be a lot more money that you save living in Africa than $5,000 that you make here in America, which you barely see as soon as it hits your bank account, because you got to make a mortgage payment or pay the rent or pay car insurance, make a payment on your card, buying groceries, paying credit card debts. By the time you have paid all of these things, that money it's already run out. Now you're waiting for next month or the next paycheck next week so you can do the same thing all over again. But because it seems a lot when you receive it in your hand, with the high cost of living here, it's way different how far the money can go if you take it to Africa, for instance. People don't talk about these things, but those are the reality that a lot of us are living here in America. But people do not want to face these realities because that's true. A lot of Americans don't even have $3,000-$5,000 in emergency fund in their bank account. Whereas if something happens right now, they can just go and take the money and use it, right, to solve the problem. They will want to go to the bank and get a loan, right? And of course, if you have a good credit score, if you already messed up your credit, ain't nobody gonna lend you no money. You understand what I'm saying? So when people talk about these things, they don't mention all of this. They hide the ugly side of America, all the West. They just want you to believe in what the mainstream media are continuously, feeding people with. But the reality on the ground is far from what, TV hosts from mainstream medias are telling people. That's why it is important to go see things for yourself. And that brings me back to the topic that I'm talking about. You want to see things improve, you have to be the one boots on the ground making sure that gets done. Because at the end of the day, the idea is yours, the money is yours, the efforts are yours. So why wouldn't you want to go see the very same thing that you're spending money on? How many times when you realize that there's some money missing from your bank account, or an entity or an organization charge your bank account and you see money missing on your account, what do? You call the bank to let them know what had happened, right? You want them to track whomever took the money out of your account so that they can deposit your money and use your money for whatever it is that you want to use it for, correct? So why is it that we don't want to follow through when we are doing business in Africa? We keep, bragging about it, talking about it all the time, how amazing it sounds, but we are removing ourselves from the efforts that are required to reach the ultimate objective. And if that's your thought process, I'm I hate to say it, but it'll never work out. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. It will never work out. You have to be committed. You really have to put effort, time, energy in order for that to work out. If you don't believe in that, then I don't know what else to tell you. All right? Even here, if you want to start a business out here in America, for instance, you know what you're going to go through, right? And you probably don't even have that kind of money to begin with. That's why most of us are going to Africa, because how cheap, the cost of starting business can be. And you don't have to worry about this taxes being slapped on you when you're just getting started. Even when your business is fully established, you don't really have to worry about paying taxes like that, right? So a lot of us have the privilege to benefit from these opportunities, but we choose not to take it. But when you're from Africa, you want to do business, you planning on moving back eventually. I don't know what the background of some of you are, whether it is you just like, all right, I want to work till I retire, and when I start collecting my social security checks, then I'm going to move to Africa and just live peacefully. And nothing wrong with that. But the polls are showing that most people that have worked, tremendously or for a very long time here in America, they don't have a long lifespan after their retirement. So you have to ask yourselves, how much longer do I have left from the time I retire, and how old you will be, and how healthy you will be. Because the food that we consume here, it affects our health. Our healths are easily affected by food consumption, by just living here in America. Once as a child growing up, I never understood the concept of people eat healthy. Here there's an abundance of food, which is true. There's an abundance of food, but it is 90%. I'm confident to even say more than 90% are these food choices unhealthy. People don't eat healthy here in America. That's why we have extreme obesity problem here in the US, because people eat junk food. Unlike us in Africa, we grow food, we don't put GMOs in there. Our foods are healthier, and that's why we don't have obesity issues in most African countries. You don't have to worry about obese problems in African countries. So you will eat healthy, you will live a healthy lifestyle, and you will live longer, right? So if that's what you want to do, trust me guys, by just being there in Africa alone and eating this food, it's keeping you alive longer. You don't have to worry about doctor's appointments all the time, because the older people get here in the West, the more their health deteriorates, which is the opposite in Africa. Just you eating your food, like the problems we have to worry about are malarias, typhoid, all these others, sicknesses, right, that surround us. But these are due to the tropical weather that we also have in Africa, of course, right, and also the environments. But if our local governments can do a better job to make our environment cleaner and make sure the trash problems are getting taken care of, then we wouldn't have to worry about these things all the time. You understand what I'm saying? So that could be the only issue. Thank you. That could be the only issue that we have to worry about. And every time I'm in Congo, that's the only thing I have to worry about, right? But if you have the mosquito net, wherever you're spending the night, you're golden. You understand what I'm saying? So guys, please, if you want to succeed in doing business in Africa, keep in mind you got to follow through. You got to travel more frequently. You got to check on your guys all the time. Like this morning, I sent my guy, some money for transportation to go check on the farm. I've already moved two people that are working there actively, cutting down grass and making the place look, better, because starting coming next week, at the end of next week, we'll be bringing the first load of pigs. It was supposed to happen this week, but due to some, things that I had to handle, which required using more money, I wasn't able to do that this week. But next week, for sure, we'll be bringing pigs onto the farm. So they want to make sure that they take care of the farm. They make it, that they cut the grass and do weed control and stuff. But I can't leave them by themselves down there, can I? I've made sure they have food. They have enough food that will get them through the whole month. Everything's are running smoothly now, right? I still got like miners, tools, supplies that they need for the house. I still have to equip the living room. I still have to make sure that they have pans, pots, things to cook with. But they live in those areas. They got ways to, cook every single day because food is there. It's available, right? I got a massive amount of land that they can grow their own or plants moving forward, which they actually brought to my attention, and I allowed them whatever space they want to use. If they want to grow their own food for consumption, I don't have an issue with that. But I made sure I got them fufu, rice, oil, or different sort of dry meats and beans and multiple other things that will get them through, right? So what I have to do, I have to follow through. So I have my guy who's actively keeping an eye on things, the way things are working there. I gave him $15. That's a round trip transportation right there. So you go down there, see it for himself, it reports to me. It just does not report verbally. He films it. It makes sure that things are getting done the way they say they would. And when he says that, it shows me through videos, right? Because he has a camera that I bought, he uses. And that's, by the way, that I use when I share videos from my farm. He always comes from him. That's the type of energy that all of us should have moving forward. Because if you're doing business and you want to start a business, you want to be successful, you also have to make a lot of sacrifices, whether you like it or not. I mean, if you don't want to make sacrifices, then this cannot be for you. I would advise you just getting out of here, do something else with your money. Or you're better off just making peace, staying here in America. There's nothing wrong with it until you realize that the American dream that you think doesn't exist for you. Then you will join us. But until then, you can, keep your butt here in America, and we're totally fine with it. But someone like me who does not want to stay here, well, I just have to do what I got to do, no matter how long that takes me. But when I do get to that objective, it will be me and you in these live streams or on a pre-recorded video discussing how I was able to get myself out of this situation. Guys, believe it or not, starting a new life abroad, it's very, very difficult. So like me, I moved here when I was younger. I didn't know better, right? And now I'm grown. I understand where the world is going, and I want something for myself, and I'm investing in Congo, in Africa. I'm like, man, I know my threshold. I know my limits. When I reach a certain level, I wouldn't really want to stress it. I would just make peace with it, and I don't want to come back here in America, period. But I'm working towards that objective, slowly by slowly. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things that we're doing, it has to have a purpose, right? But my goals or my vision, it will only happen. It's more incremental, right? The way that things work. I don't have a lot of money like that, but I know eventually I will get there. That's why I am continuously working. I am continuing to send money. I will start my portrait projects real soon. And slowly by slowly we will get there. So you guys, thank you for tuning in. I feel like I've been, mumbling the entire time. I hope I was able to get the message through. And if you found value watching this live stream, whether live or on a replay, give me a thumbs up, share this live stream with a friend, and I hope to see you back here again in the next live stream or in the next pre-recorded video. And thanks for your support. It really, really means a lot. Until the next one, I'll see you guys soon. Happy Saturday. Peace out.